Here.
Cool. So today we're going to be discussing something that is quite relevant, I think, more than ever now, and that's video, the use of video. What we're doing right now is a use of video. Streaming on Facebook's a use of video. After this workshop, getting together with having a conversation with the village about the production behind how do you put on a live event via video. So it seems like video is going to be a huge player. It already was a huge player, but even now more so. So I'm going to bring on Chris. Chris, why don't you just kind of give a little bit of an intro to yourself? He's got a presentation. We're going to jump right into it, jump into the content. Think about your questions, write them down as we go. And when he's done with the presentation portion, we're going to open it up for Q&A. Chris,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of detail about myself within the presentation. Before I get started, I just want you guys to know that this is more of like a training for you guys. I put it together in a way of, in hard times, to basically be utilizing our time to benefit our businesses. I would really encourage you, if you haven't already, to watch Jessica's episode 5 from the last time, because I think she really lays out the good foundation of what it is to market your business for Instagram and Facebook. And she goes into all the different tiers. Now, what I'm going to do is basically break down into the tier for video and lead generation, which was 2 of the 4 that she discussed. She did discuss video being an impactful part to have a more engaging ad. We're going to talk about why it's more engaging, what types of videos those look like, and then lead generation. Same thing she was talking about, which we call lead magnets. We'll get into that in the webinar, but I just want to encourage you guys, before watching this presentation, I think it's really good to watch episode 5. It's a good lead in. So with that being said, I will get started. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Not yet.
It's loading up then.
There we go. You're
Okay,
good.
perfect. Cool. All right. So in today's presentation, I am going to show you guys how to get prospects in 6 easy steps using video. Again, encompassing video, there's many aspects that go into it. You have images, you have the different dynamic links, you have lead magnets, but using video is the key component in my mind based on how you use it. And I'm going to teach you today how to use video to benefit you the most. And it's whether you hire a professional or you do it yourself. Okay, so who's TruFocus Productions? We're a small video production company based here in Lisle, Illinois. We just moved from Westmont, which is, I know, your guys' next door neighbors. So basically, I started the company 6 years ago. I was working at a studio in LaGrange, and basically I decided, what I wanted to do was much bigger than just being a production assistant, and I wanted to be able to help businesses and entrepreneurs grow their practices. I teamed up with one of my colleagues at the time, David Carafa, who's our main videographer, alongside myself, and Jacqueline, who is our main editor. She's based out of St. Louis. So talk about being virtual. We've always done these virtual meetings and always had to communicate via email and phone calls. So we're a perfect example of how to make your business virtual. And Jacqueline, I also met in college. So I went to the Illinois Institute of Art in Schaumburg, got a bachelor's degree in digital filmmaking. Jacqueline also got a bachelor's in digital filmmaking. So we already worked really well together back in college on all those projects. So it just kind of made sense for us to work together in the business area. So that being said, from here going on forward is all about you guys. It's all about the education. So there's 3 things that we noticed that happen when I come up to a client and I'm talking about video. They're just like, there's too many moving pieces. It's a big headache. I want to stay on top of my content strategy, but I don't even know where to begin. I have limited ability. I don't have the time. It's too costly. In episode 5, the one thing that I kept hearing over and over again is it's a little too expensive, and it doesn't need to be. So we're going to go into why and how we can overcome all those barriers. So just to kind of give you a little outlook, video is a powerful marketing tool. 87% of marketing professionals use video as a marketing tool. So if you guys haven't been sold on it already, I mean, the stat is from a year ago and it just continues to grow. So in this presentation, I'm going to go through these 6 easy steps. So 1 is going to be the strategy. Once we get the overall strategy in place, we're going to plan how to use that strategy. We're going to use a piece called batching. A lot of people, that's a new way of thinking for them, but batching is something we do every day. Think about it when you do the dishes. You don't take a drink of coffee and then clean the dish right away. At least not most people do. They wait till all their meals are done and then they wash their dishes at the end of the day. You do everything at once. Do the same thing with video production. Teamwork, whether you have someone on your team, yourself, or you hire a professional, what that looks like. The content you do create, how to use it, and then an action plan of how to put all the things you've created to work for you. All right, so I like to use analogies. So in today's analogy, I'm going to be using bees. I think it's a perfect analogy for business. So in step 1, we're going to use strategy, which is the nature of business. The goal is to let the prospects come to us. We're not cold calling anymore. We're not going door to door anymore. We want our ideal customers to see, hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for, and I want that, and they're going to go after it. So we're going to talk about how to get that. So again, we're using lessons from nature. So we're going to visualize the prospects as bees and your business as a flower. So in nature, you're trying to attract the bees to get pollen, right? So in your business, it's no different. You're trying to attract people with the nectar that you put out to generate revenue. So basically, you're trying to figure out what it is that attracts people to your business. And that's something that you should know in the beginning of all of this. So where are all the bees going, aka the prospects? They're all going online, even more now than ever. So with so many different flowers or businesses, competitors that are online, you want them to be attracted to you, right? So they want to make sure if that client is your ideal client, that they're the ones that are going exactly to your business, and they reach out to you, not you to them. So the best way to do that is with video. It grabs their attention, it's engaging, but you want to make sure it's the type of video that people are looking for. So we're going to go into how to find exactly what people are looking for in your business. So there's a tool, if you haven't heard of it already, it's called Google Keyword Planner Tool. There's many free tools out there that you can utilize. You can just do a quick Google search for your business and your service, and it'll pop up what your competitors' ads are. So for instance, here I did paying off your mortgage. So a example of a client that I'm going to work with or have worked with, I'm going to show is the Kwok brothers, because basically they're a perfect example of how lead generation works. So if you were to look them up, you could see exactly who their competition is. There's an ad right there. So you can learn your keywords that your competitors are using. They're not going to be running these ads unless they're generating revenue. And so you can see exactly what copy they're using and what titles they're using. Very important for Google as well, because Google and YouTube are one of the same. They use the same search engine optimization. So what pops up on the YouTube algorithm and feed is what's going to pop up on the Google feed. So using the Google Keyword Planner, you can use all the keywords in your business, see what your competitors are doing, and use that as kind of a base of where to get started. So again, you're trying to create value here. So the flower is smart because it produces nectar, which draws in all the bees. So they don't go everywhere else. The flower stays grounded, and basically your business is sitting still. It's not going out door to door. It's not going business to business. So basically you're always should be thinking, how can I create value? And right now, in a time of crisis, creating value for people is the biggest thing you can do right now. So to be able to give them free content or studies or education is the biggest thing for your business. So here's a quick case study of why I'm so driven by keywords and the right copy to use for your ads or for your content. So the Kwok brothers came to me a year ago, and they had this video, and they named it Episode 23, How to Screen and Select Tenants. No one is going to search for that. No one types in Episode 3, How to Screen. No, they don't look. You have to look at what people are searching for. And that tool that I showed you earlier will show you how often people are searching for that term. Is it a popular term? Is it a cost-effective term? So what we did was we said, okay, in their business, what is it that people are searching for more than anything? And people wanted to pay off their mortgage fast in less than 5 years. And we used that title, and it had 16,000 times more views than that last video that they created. So this is a perfect example of when you find the exact terms and copy that people are looking for, how much more engagement you'll get. So there's always going to be a lot of other competitors out there trying to take advantage of the same key terms. So basically what you want to do is be on multiple platforms. That's why people talk about doing different types of content for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You don't need to be on all of them. A lot of people think that you need to be posting on every single one in order to get all the clients. I say stick to where your clients are and go after that. In the last episode, you guys learned that the top tier of branding is Facebook, social media, and all the social platforms. But then Google is the bottom of the funnel, which converts your clients. So you want to make sure in the top branding section is where you're getting your free content out. So here's just a few different other options to find your keywords. And again, if you don't get this soon enough, I'll send the PowerPoint over so you can get these later. These are two resources that I've used in the past when I was getting started. One of them is more so for Google, the other one being more so for YouTube. All right, so 3 things to remember from the beginning is to continue to offer more value up front, be direct with your audience, and what the next steps are. So if you give them a free ebook or if you give them a webinar, what are the next steps they need to take in order to conduct business with you? And the last thing I want to keep in mind for you all is always be building your email list. No matter what you're doing, you should be engaging with your audience and your email list to stay current with them and always aware of what's going on in your business. So step 2 would be plan. So we're going to be creating scripts and list building your email list. So you're going to need to write a script, which again, you're going to your competitors, you're seeing what are they using keywords, what do they have? Then you need to decide, okay, based on what my competitors are doing, what lead magnet do I need? This is what we talked about earlier, what you're not doing organically, but more so paid to send people to, whether that be a handout, an ebook, a report, a webinar. And then you're gonna have a video talking about those services. And then you can do a little description or a link to download that once they give you your email. Emails are essential for that conversion. You're giving them something free and you're getting their email for it. And video is the conduit to educate them on why they're doing what they're doing. So in high converting scripts, the #1 rule is the magnets. The magnets is the biggest thing for you because it's going to give them the information, the steps and strategies and of what they need to do, whether that be inspiration, motivation, thought leadership. It all depends on your business specifically. So I did a broad range, but depending on what you do, you really want to narrow it down to what they are looking for. So you can even ask your current clients, what would you want from me that could help you? And provide that value for free for them. So to have high converting scripts, you need to know what your clients want. That's the end all be all. So when people ask me, well, what do I do my first video? How do I do my first video? What should it be about? What should I have in it? This is kind of like the breakdown of what I would say for your first video. It should have just who you are, what you do, give yourself a little credibility, whether that be testimonials or word of mouth from other influencers, branding. Like, again, I said, branding is your social media. So anything under that umbrella, you could show off your Facebook and the 1,000 likes you have on a post or the following you have. And then the content of what you're going to be talking about. And then a call to action with a recap. So call to action being, sign up today for my free 15-minute creative call, which is something that I offer to anyone who's interested in. So a call to action is just something that for them to do after they've received information. So these are the top highest converting lead magnets currently on the market. You could read them for yourself, but these are the best lead magnets to create for your business. And you only need one. You don't need to do all of them. I mean, the more you have, the better you can see what works and what doesn't. But depending on your business, these are the top ones that people are going after. So each video you create will have a call to action. So all of these things will say, hey, go click my ebook and download the link below, or click the link below to sign up to get a call with me for a free consultation. Whatever it may be, you're gonna have it. And since you're ranked in Google and YouTube and getting organic with your videos, everyone who watches these videos, even 5-6 years from now, can go and get those lead magnets. Step 3 is 8 videos in 2 hours, which a lot of people are always in shock when I say that, but it's all about planning and preparing for something like this. So video is captivating more than text, and a lot of people will like to write out text, and I think that's great. I think you should. If you're not used to it and comfortable being on camera, you should still be writing out text, but you're gonna get more engagement with video. And when you have it written, you at least have a template. So if you're a blogger or someone who's used to writing content, you can still use that same copy for your videos. So when you're able to create multiple videos in one sitting, you get a lot more content out at once. One thing that I noticed is people who say, oh, do a video a day, video a day, video a day, or put out 2 videos a week. It's hard. It's hard to set up your camera, make yourself look all nice, and get ready for that video shot. And what we notice as professionals is if you can do all of them on the same day for like an entire month's content, at least when you've done the first video, you're like warmed up, you're comfortable, you're in the environment, and you just do all of them. So you want to make sure you have a bunch of scripts ready to go to do in one day. Don't do a bunch of videos in a week. You usually are not going to either find the time or the motivation to do it. So here's three reasons why batching is important. If you break down all of this, I'm not going to read it out loud, but if you break everything down, you're saving so much time. You're saving time for prepping, setting up your camera, preparing yourself, transferring footage. It's just, there's a bunch of valuable things that you can get out of just doing it quicker. So a batch filming day looks something like this. You set up, takes you about 10 minutes, you put your phone on a stand or your camera on a stand. You write out your outline of script, or you take the scripts you already have, your blogs, review it over really quick, make sure it's relevant. Film that script. That's just for one video. You're probably going to need 5 to 15 minutes, even if it's a minute long, because you're going to need time to redo or retake or reevaluate. And then breaking down your equipment. Typically you would do that wash, rinse, repeat over and over again. But instead what you're going to do is you're going to do this multiple times for a few hours. So you dedicate maybe 4 hours of your day to do a bunch of videos. But in 2 hours, you can get done at least 8 videos given this breakdown. Four would be teamwork. So you do not have to do all this yourself. A lot of people will think as entrepreneurs that I need to do this, I need to do that. Well, there's professionals out there for a reason. You don't need to hire a full professional video company to do this right now. You can film yourself and still contract out editors for fairly fair wages. Currently right now, and this might even be less since the last time I checked, but to get a video editor from Upwork or a contracting site or someone like myself, you can get an editor for 20 hours a week for between $300 and $1,200 a month. Instead of learning a new program yourself, getting confused, you can really just hire a professional and get this done. They can review your scripts for you. They can post that content out. There's no reason why you have to do everything yourself. You send the footage to your team. They might be overseas. I actually usually recommend it overseas for VAs because they're only like $2 to $8. They can help you write your scripts, and that's pretty much it as far as building up your team. So lastly, repurposing your content. This is what a lot of people get confused by, so I want to be as clear as possible. When you shoot all of these videos, you not only have videos, but you have photos. And what I mean by that is you can take stills from these videos to post out on social media. If you have high quality 4K on your camera, you can export stills and put text on it. You can do arrows, you can do faces, you can do emojis. Like, you can do things that you can repurpose that content. So if you do one 5-minute video and you screenshot 10 different photos from that video, not only do you have a video, but you have 10 different stills. And on top of that, maybe a 5-minute video you break down into 5 1-minute videos, just for teasers online and say, hey, watch the full video with the link below. There's many ways to repurpose your content so that you're not having to just use it just for a video. You want to be able to say, okay, I've done a video, now how can I use this to the best of my ability? So video engages users longer on your website. So one of the places I encourage you to do is one of your best videos that converts is just put it on your website. According to Forbes, in 2018, it's 88% more conversion. You can use these images on YouTube for stills. You can use it on Facebook teasers for images, for, as we talked about earlier, for images for Facebook ads. Just one video can be about 50 different pieces of content if you strategically use it. And again, your editor can do all this for you. You don't have to do any of it. So what's possible when you do this? You get more time, you get more consistency, you have more growth that keeps snowballing, because something you did 5 years ago still is applicable today if your business model doesn't change. And you're generating more leads, more customers, and at the end of the day, more sales. So what do we do with all this? This is the action plan, organizing your time for a time-saving schedule. You need to book in your calendar. And I know this is hard to do, but 4 hours at least, I would say you need to spend 2 hours of shooting, 2 hours of script writing, and you can have content for the next entire month. If you need help with that, again, I would just really sit down with your clients and see what it is that they want. What do they want from you directly? You'll finally know what it's like to see consistent growth in your business, because once you do start creating these pieces, you'll see the clients that you're attracting. You'll see what you need to tweak in your business model and what you're offering for engagement and sales. After filming and editing 8 videos that you've batched, you can create a foolproof plan, and you will have a schedule that you'll have set up. So eventually it gets easier. I know in the beginning it's really hard to get yourself in front of the camera and filming yourself, but I'm telling you, it does get easier. So here's what we do in 1, 2, 3. This is the final overview basically of what we discussed today, just as a recap to everything. I want you to do your research, what your competitors are doing, what your client base wants from you, and then organize those thoughts into a script, whether it be a blog, anything that you put out on your social media, just written, and film yourself saying that same script. And in that video, I want you to offer something free, anything. One of those lead magnets I talked about earlier, choose just one of them and create something around it and offer it to that client. And then in doing so, I always ask for the email. This isn't mandatory, but I would recommend it. Always ask for email. Email is currency in today's day and age. Someone will pay you for an email list of a competitor if you're going out of business or you're selling your business. It's that valuable. And once you have that email list, you can touch point with them. You can do your follow-up email campaigns. You can send out blasts. And you have a brand new prospect that's ready to go, who knows your business, wants what your business is offering, and is ready to go whenever they have the right funds or means to do so. With that being said, I'm open for any questions that you might have. I do want to allow Belinda the opportunity to kind of just talk with you about what it's like working with our team. Belinda was looking for a video banner for her website, and I just want to kind of allow her the space to just kind of talk about what it's like working with our team if you do decide to work with a professional.
Great. So, okay, do you stop screen sharing on your end? Oh, there we go. Cool. So I have a few to knock out, and then we'll do questions, and maybe we can have Belinda jump on at the end. So talking about lead magnets, I think this is a really important one because basically you're trading something of value for an email so you can continue to re-engage. If you don't have that opportunity, then it's hard to be able to reach them. What type of lead magnet could because a lot of the ones that you had listed was great for like educational based.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck from Daily Scoop, what kind of lead magnet from Chuck, who runs the local ice cream store, use in order to do that opt-in on his website, capture the email, and continue to engage deals and offers?
So can you tell me a little bit about your business, Chuck?
Hold on, Chuck. Stand by.
There we go.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Hello, everybody. My business is basically, it's a retail ice cream store, downtown Clarendon Hills. Been around for almost 20 years. Lots of loyal customers. We do pretty much any kind of ice cream item you want. You know, the shakes, the sundaes, ice cream pies. We also have hot dogs and chips and soda, you know, for the, you know, if you just want to come and grab some lunch or whatever. That's pretty much basically what we do. Now it's a little bit more difficult, obviously. Hours have changed a little bit. Everybody's supposedly still indoors, although that's not really the case. But on that note, you know, the nicer it gets, the more people go out. So that helps. So yesterday, not a good day.
So tell me a little bit about the product. So is it just ice cream that you're selling? That's the product, or is there services involved? Like, do you do parties or hosting or anything like that?
We do, I can go off site. We do off site Sunday parties. We do have parties in the store. Used to do a lot of birthday parties, build your own Sunday parties, where the kids would just get their flavor and they put all the junk on it that you want. The gummy bears, the M&Ms. They're pretty much the ugliest sundaes you've ever seen in your life, but we're not eating them, they are, so it's okay. Sure. Let's see, we do a lot of meal deals, sometimes in the summer, every Saturday if we can, weather permitting. We grill outside, so people come for that, quick bite to eat and take off and do more lawn work or whatever they're doing, going to baseball games, you know, for the little kids. Again, I don't know what that's going to entail this year, how that's going to play out. But I'm looking into still doing it. But like I said, I don't know about the little league games or, you know, the soccer tournaments or whatever. So we'll play that as we go along.
Sure. So one of the things that is hard for your business, particularly right now, is you're not someone that's used to being virtual, right? Like you have a physical product. You're used to people coming to the store and engaging. So usually what you want to do is just educate people on what your business, what makes you stand out. Webinar is still applicable for you to talk about why your business is different from your competitors. Like, why should I eat ice cream at your shop opposed to others? And education on how you could use yours for parties or events, or, you know, create value of why they can use your particular product and what you offer that's special. You know, you got to be more unique than ever in these times. Maybe it's that you do free delivery right now with everything going on. Maybe before you had a fee for shipping or something. And if they watch your webinar, you offer them a gift card. Gift card and coupons are huge right now for the product industry, because no one's really buying as much right now. And, you know, in my mind, like, ice cream is more of a luxury. If I'm going out, I'm treating myself. So I want to know, when I'm ready to treat myself, oh, who is that guy that, you know, was talking about that delicious, and then you see it, you look at it, you understand who you are, you know, your family business, 20 years, you know. I want to go back out when everything opens up. I want to know, who am I supporting? Like, who spoke to me, who helped me? So the value you can create is really just education of who you are and what your business does. Maybe you don't have a lead magnet. Maybe just educate people of who you guys are.
Well, we've added, one of the things we've added is the Sunday party to go. So basically, you know, the flavor, all the toppings, and we've gotten a few hits off of that, and the people who have done it have commented back. And it was, again, it's for the stay-at-home thing going on now, so the kids can have an activity, I guess, is really what these people were going after, that they could all do together at home. And it's going pretty well. So it's one of the things that we've added. We never did that before. It's kind of unique. We're doing a lot more ice cream pies, and that word has gotten out there. So we're making progress with that too.
So you're pivoting, and that's the biggest thing right now, is businesses are having to pivot, and we're having to do things that we're uncomfortable doing, and it's okay. Yes. But keeping your clients educated. You said you have a good loyal following.
I do.
Do everyone in your following, do they know that you're doing these events? Like, have you been reaching?
I'm sure not everybody knows. I'm sure that there's other ways to get the word out. You know, I do the Facebook and the Instagram thing. There's the moms list in town. If I'm lucky enough to have a few moms comment, it really helps. And that's, I mean, there really hasn't been any other kind of advertising. It's a lot of it's word of mouth. And right now it's a little bit tougher just because nobody's going out, or not as many people.
Right.
Were you collecting emails when people were buying from your company before?
Like, well, one of the things that I wrote down here is get a better email list. I do not have a very good one. And I don't know. I suppose I could put a little flyer out for when people start coming back. Give me your email list. Be as blunt and as, you know, in your face as that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's usually for your type of business, it's like a percentage off. So, like, sign up for our email list for upcoming coupons. You know, that gives them an incentive to sign up.
To do it. Yeah.
Yes, an incentive to sign up for it. And then
they don't want to be bombarded with useless emails. I get it with the incentive. I like that.
So it's basically you're making a club, Chuck. Like, you want to get an insiders club. And as far as doing, I love the idea when you mentioned, I don't know, I hooked onto Ugly Sunday contest. So if you can do something that ties a video event into them ordering your Sunday kit, and then you market that event, and it would be a video-based event, so you can do it all on Zoom. You record. Right. Now you have the whole Ugly Sunday, which I may be a part of, the Ugly Sunday contest done on Zoom, and then you have a piece of content, and that thing would be huge. Like, you would be putting that, and everybody would just be making a huge mess at their homes with your Sunday kit. Or you could make Best Sunday. I'm hooking on to Ugly, but that might not be as appetizing.
Or politically correct either.
Right. Whatever. Or I love the idea of this, and I don't know your thoughts on this, Chris, is being the vehicle that hosts the birthday party. So have a Daily Scoop Zoom party they order all the fixings for you. You provide the Zoom room for them to, be able to do this thing, and be able each individual person who's going to the party automatically gets sent a
Right.
Sunday kit, and then they can make an hour Zoom where they're making Sundays together, opening presents, and now you're the hub of that, and then you get that revenue because you get like 20 or 30 kids who have to get your Sunday kit. And then as far as marketing, going back to what Jessica said last week, is basically it'd be you on camera, you make your video offer of the event, you do a targeted Facebook and Instagram ad of that video targeting the moms between the age of 20, 35, and I mean, honestly, that's a $10 to $15 ad spend to reach just Clairton Hills to do that. So it's really nothing.
And if you have an email list at all, like even if it's 50 or 60 emails, you can do what's called a retargeting ad on Facebook ads and use that email list, and they'll match it too. So there's ways of doing that within Facebook as well.
Yeah, so you're basically uploading your email list to Facebook, which I've done. They're not using it. They're not using it in a bad way or anything like that. It's still your personal list, but it populates a Facebook group based off of the users of the email. So it's kind of a cool thing. We have a question from Michael. Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you today?
Good. I have a nuts and bolts kind of question for you. So we've been doing the video, getting into it, and I've been editing in iMovie and posting them on YouTube. And what I find is that iMovie is a little generic, and YouTube then starts putting all kinds of ads and like other videos and gets distracting. So I'm just curious, like, what you recommend. Is Vimeo better even though it's a paid service, or is that kind of the same? Is there something else out there that is less expensive and equally good, or should I pay a little more and get something that's a little bit better? And then for the editing, is there something that is worth investing in, or at this point, is it better just to stick with the basics? I mean, I'm just curious what your thoughts are from that standpoint.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question. Well, overall, I would say YouTube and Vimeo are very much the same in the sense of how they work, uploading and hosting. But what it comes down to is Vimeo was more of a business platform, whereas YouTube was more the home it with the kids type of video. It was a lot more of a wider range. People didn't really take it professionally. So if you wanted to basically go the extra mile, because on Vimeo you could brand the players like with your branding colors. You can have a call to action at the end of the video. So at the very end, when it finishes playing, it could say like, click here to book an appointment, or click here to go to the website. Whereas YouTube, you really don't have those options. But the benefit of YouTube, remember, you're thinking about the content you're creating for the platform you're putting it on. Just like Jessica was saying yesterday, you might not put the same video as you put on Facebook as you would on Instagram. So the same type of video you wouldn't put on YouTube, you might not put on Vimeo. There's a way the algorithm works that you would have a different title, you would have different keywords that you would say in the video. Vimeo, I like to think of it as my website platform. Everything I want branded to me, I put on my Vimeo page, and I put that on the website. Anything I want to put widespread for branding purposes, I put it on YouTube, because that could go organic pretty quickly, a lot quicker than Vimeo. So there's a pretty big difference between that. So on that side of your question, I would say if you're doing it for branding, use more so YouTube. If you're doing it for more professional for your website, use Vimeo. And I would upgrade to Pro, or have a professional like myself who has a paid account host it for you, so you can do your branding colors. As far as the editing goes, given the times right now, I mean, iMovie is a great platform. It's a great free platform to use for people who aren't in the industry. If you can get it to work, I would say use it. Otherwise, if you're looking to invest a little bit of extra money, you can do like a 30-day, I think they have a 30-day trial for Adobe Premiere. But then you're learning, you have to, go through the hoops of learning a new program. And I want to say they've made it user-friendly, but that's coming from a creative who's been doing editing for 10 years. So like, to me, easy isn't what easy is for you. I know iMovie is completely different from Premiere. So I would just stick to what you know right now, unless you really want to get into this in the future.
Let me see if I can unmute him. Hold on. Did that help, Mike? Hold on. All right, you're live.
It did. It did very much so, and it makes sense. I see what you're saying. So just to clarify though, so if it's a movie where you're trying to explain about your business and maybe offer like an ebook, you might want to use Vimeo and put that on your website or driving them to the site because you want them more branded. But if it's, hey, here's a tip or trick, because we have a salon, so some sort of like skincare tip or trick, that might be better on a YouTube because that might go more widespread in its appeal, right?
Right. So think of it as the title. What title are you going to put? Is it the 5 best trips for getting the cleanest skin? Because that's something that someone would type on Google, right? And you would want that to pop up on their feed. Vimeo, if you put it there and they type it on Google, the chance of it popping up are a lot less likely. So if you just want it as educational piece on your website, then yeah, go Vimeo.
YouTube is basically a search engine. So make no mistake, it basically, the way that the Google algorithm, what he's trying to say is it's going to populate in the search results. So you get that benefit, and you're thinking of in terms of the questions that people are asked. What are the top 20 questions? I mean, one little trick that you can do is, what are the top 20 questions people are asking right now? And then you literally do a minute video answering the question and then doing it in a way where, and then you have to obviously set it up. Like he said, titles are huge. I think even the image cover of a YouTube video makes a huge difference in just not letting it populate a typical image video. So use YouTube as a search engine because it's more of a search engine than anything now. I did with Mike. Did you have any other questions before I hold on? Well, these mute buttons suck on Zoom. I can't stand them. Hold on. Now you're on.
No, I'm all good. That was great. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, cool. So we are taking questions. All you have to do is raise your virtual hand, or you can hit me in the comments either way. One of the questions that I had is talking about what the process is like now that we're in the situation where you can't how does it work for you? So if a business wants to work for you, do you coach them and consult them on how to capture these batching videos, and then they send it to you, and then you deal with it and you make it into something great so they don't have to deal with the editing thing? Because that's where the barrier is for a lot of our businesses in here. They don't want to sit editing video. It's mindless and it takes up a lot of time, and you need some expertise so it doesn't look amateur hour. What does that process look like now that we're in the situation we're in? Or are you allowed to go in a very social distancing thing, send a one-person crew into a closed business and be able to shoot with them behind closed doors, get content, run, and then go edit? How does that work?
Great question. Well, there's a lot of different things that you can do right now. Because the process of script writing and batching and all those things it's a lot of planning. So getting on a creative call with me and kind of really planning and starting to do your market research is essential right now. So the first step I would say is to just start planning. And then we could figure out a game plan as exactly how to utilize that content for your business in the future. Some people are still doing and acting on stuff that they've created. So if you shot a video with me a month ago, we could still be editing. Like I said, we could take one video and create 50 different pieces of content from it. So we can take video that you have created in the past and break it down and utilize it for editing. That's a no-brainer because we're not with you. As far as shooting content in businesses, it is a little bit iffy because with everything right now, videos is not technically an essential business. That being said, we're just taking the proper guidelines. If we go into a business, we'll go in with one camera, one operator, 6 feet distance. You know, if the client feels that they want us to wear a mask, you know, we'll wear a mask. We just want everyone to be comfortable. But more than anything right now, I've been just taking coaching calls with clients. I had to pivot myself, coaching people on how to do virtual events, how to set up a camera framing, how to use a program. You know, I could teach you how to use a program if I'm familiar with it. What different products that you can create for your business right now, different lead magnets. There's a lot of different aspects that are in the production process that I wasn't as much involved in, but I'm involving myself more now than ever.
So yeah, so he's acting more like a consultant that can walk you through this part of, basically you're teaching people how to do some of it DIY,
Yep.
and be able to set up a video production outfit within their own business,
Yep.
which is interesting. I might even put, so what are your thoughts on TikTok? And I might even, we have a TikTok, mega TikTok consumer in our room right now, and I might put Amanda on the spot here. Quite the TikTok aficionado. What are your thoughts on TikTok? And I might bring Amanda in to chat about it, because I think its organic reach is amazing right now. They haven't done paid to play, and I personally believe that all businesses should be really thinking about it. It's a video platform.
So I always try to stay in my lane. I am not as familiar with TikTok. I do want to say though, if it gets good branding for your business in a way that you feel represents you well, then any platform, that being said, could be utilized to brand yourself. TikTok as a platform being used right now, how to utilize it properly, I am not too familiar. So if Amanda knows more about the aspects of TikTok, then I'm more than open to hear her thoughts.
Yeah, and maybe you can share a little later how that realtor, I think you told me about the story about someone who grew their YouTube subscribership. It was a realtor and from TikTok. Hey, Amanda.
Hi.
Totally putting you on the spot.
No worries.
I know you weren't planning this. Amanda is our marketing intern. She has been volunteering her time doing all of our posting, and she's been doing an amazing job for the chamber. And we're completely grateful for what you've been doing for us and the knowledge you've been bringing to the table. Maybe if you could tell us, just assume we're all TikTok idiots. We may be. What is it? And then what type of content are you seeing as a user, and where do you see some of the opportunity for a business to use it?
So I guess the easiest way for me to explain what it is would be, if any of you are familiar with Vine, it is very similar to that, very short videos, social media, where you kind of just like send it out, and then and there's the majority of the app is based on an explore page, and there's a super complicated algorithm with that, but it's called the For You page. So based off of other videos that you've liked, or I'm sure how many times you watch a video and stuff like that, they'll kind of put together the For You page for you, which is like just a stream of videos, and then you can just like scroll. It's basically the easiest way to waste 1 million hours of your day doing nothing. But from a marketing standpoint, most of what I've been seeing has been a lot of influencer marketing. And so with some of the public figures, because of course now there's the 15-year-old girls who are the super famous TikTok stars or whatever, there's been a lot of influencer marketing with either clothing brands or makeup brands, skincare, stuff like that I've seen. And then from a business standpoint, a lot of boutiques I have seen doing dance trends and stuff that are very popular on TikTok, because then they're able to show off their clothes and stuff in that aspect. But other than that, I think it's pretty much uncharted territory.
Yeah, so, and let's talk about the type of content. So we were talking before with Chris about, we're developing scripts and we're doing some really heavy thought into the types of content. Some of the stuff that I see on TikTok has almost sometimes no thought being put into it. It's a very behind the scenes, goofy, off the cuff, casual approach to short form video. Short form meaning you can't go longer than 45 seconds. Is that correct?
I think 60 is the max.
60 is the max. What is most of them are fall into the range of
15.
15 seconds, people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 15-second video to show, and it's more casual. Would you say if Chuck were to use it, it would be kind of behind the scenes of what's going on at the ice cream, even just a shot of them making a sundae and basically putting a musical bed behind it. Is that some of the stuff? If we were to do a brainstorming sesh, not positioning you as a TikTok expert, but more as a user. You're a user of TikTok. What is the type of content that a business can maybe do? Is that something, can we do something as simple as that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a lot of what I've seen so far is kind of in that same arena. People at home will make, however, say they make pancakes and they do a lot of like close-ups and different editing that makes it kind of like an aesthetic video, if that makes sense. A lot of shortcuts and just little kind of, I don't know the proper term, but I know B-roll is something in video stuff, and it kind of, I think it's in the same area. I'm probably so wrong, but it's kind of like a lot of that within some like vibey music in the background. Or then there's like dance trends that people will recreate. But then beyond those two things, it's a lot of random stuff that doesn't really make sense. And there's definitely not a lot of thought put into it. So,
Which is perfect, which is wonderful. I like no thought. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, Chris, going back to that. So you're talking about batching 15 seconds. I mean, I'm sure that, if out of some of the content you can put together, you can get a lot, a 15-minute, casual clip of even in between, behind the scenes, in between shots, kind of fun shenanigans going on that you could probably splice up for a TikTok feed.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the main thing for TikTok, and again, shooting for the platform that you know it's going towards, and knowing the audience that's on the platform that you're going against. I think, Chuck, for ice cream, I mean, you have an audience of a younger generation. Like TikTok might be a great platform for you to use. Someone like myself who's in the video production agency, it might not be the best platform, but if I can make somebody laugh, that can turn into a conversion pretty quickly. So having like something that's a little bit more well thought out definitely helps. And Derek, as you were mentioning earlier, I have a client who made a video on TikTok. It went to 20,000 views and thousands of likes within the first week of it being posted. And it blew up their YouTube channel. And you're like, wait, I thought it was on TikTok. How did it blow up their YouTube channel? Well, they linked their YouTube channel on the TikTok, and the people watching were like, these guys are hilarious. And then it was a goofy, had nothing to do with their business, nothing to do with like what they do. But then they went to their YouTube channel to see what they were all about.
What industry was that?
And that was in the real estate industry. They sell courses for how to buy and sell real estate.
There you go. Okay, cool. I was going to mention what. Shelly just mentioned it. A lot of moms are bored at home and they're hanging out with their kids and hopping on TikTok. And we know Meredith has done that a few times. And it's not even just about a dance. It's now a trend we're starting to see on TikTok is 45 to 60 second how-to videos. So if I can show you something very quickly on piano of how to play something, that's something that we're very much looking into, giving someone a very quick how-to and how to do that. Hey, Michael, you have another question. Go for it. Hold on. I think you do, unless I forgot to lower your hand.
I do not have another question. I just lower my hand, but thank you though.
I failed to lower your hand. Let's go to Belinda. I want to talk, and then we'll wrap it up. She had the experience of, where are you? I can't find you. Where is she? Oh, there we go. There we go. We got you. You had the experience of working with Chris, and maybe you could talk about your experience.
Well, I'll tell a little background about it. In the fall, we decided we wanted a new website because our website at the time was really ugly. I spent a lot of time researching. I know nothing about websites or technology. And I talked to you, Derek. I researched a lot on the internet. I read as much as I could, little webinar, TED Talk things about what makes an effective website. Then I found a web developer just by process of elimination and decided to go with a web designer that is specific to our industry so that they would have templates and things that